right, so just because I turn off the record button doesn't mean the ideas keep rolling. So I just turned off the record button, and then I was like, okay, they just celebrated her 24th birthday. Well, that means she's a Leo, I think. And we just had the story about them killing the lion, didn't we? Cecil? I did some numbers on Cecil. I was going to try to stay away from current events, but I think that since they are causing anxiety in it helps to talk about them. Anyway, so not only she was killed, and she's a Leo, but so I brought up her name again, and we had just talked about the 22 and the 922 on the last one, which was the last video I did, which was this 2-minute video about her birthday, where her boyfriend says, we just celebrated her 24th birthday. I put that in, and that has the Day of Atonement numbers in it too. And then here we have the 44, which is a kill number. That's just an unfortunate number to have in your name, especially in your Jewish gematria. 64 backward, this is a 46, so this is a backwards of a 64. Now, I think a 64 forward is kind of a somewhat good sign. It is, I think that the Nazis tried to dirty that sign, the 88, and but I think it's an actual Christ sign symbolism that the Cathars use, and they've been trying to dirty it ever since. But I think a 64 forward is actually kind of a Christ number. Backward, it is probably the negative side of the 88, because it would be, so 64 is 8 times 8. And before I learned about the Cathars, I thought that was kind of a death and destruction and a Nazi number. It does have a Christ connotation if you go farther back, before the Nazis and before the Catholic Church killed all the Cathars. So anyway, this probably is not her real name, and she's probably a CIA agent who is fine. She's just vacationing somewhere, and this was all staged. They have really good cinematography now. We don't know what is real and what isn't real, so we have to think about everything. But I just wanted to show you these numbers. Besides being an 8-6, which is the number of the crash day, it was 8/24 for the market crash when they 86'd the market, right? And now Alison Parker has been 86'd. And here is a 15. It's a 7 and an 8, and that's a 15. And the 1-5 and the 5-1 is a Freemason association number. There's other associations here too. There's an 11. So I'm not sure exactly what's all going on in that number, but come down here real quick. I think we looked at this before. Oh, okay, so her boyfriend's name's Christopher, but her name adds up to Chris. And she was the bride of Chris, right? And then she was killed before their marriage date could happen. Her name adds up to Freemasonry. Oh, there's your 87. That's KDC. Let's go back. This is an 87. And even though she doesn't add up, okay, hold on, let's go down here. Even though she doesn't add up to the 787 in the Jewish gematria, she has the 87 in her English gematria, right? Because these are her numbers. The Leo who was killed, she was a lion, a woman lion. This is the symbolism. I didn't write this story. I'm just showing you the symbolism. Don't know what this is, but it looks like something that I would like to know about. I talked about in another video how Mickey Mouse is the god of death. And if you add this up, it's an M. And his name is a 1313, and it's an MM, and that's a 44, and that's the kill number that we just talked about. And that's also has to do with the 44th president. And I think that he's the 44th president, and they have something planned for him too. But I actually think he's a synth. I don't think he is the person who was born a free human being on the earth anymore. I think that person is gone. Julius Caesar. So here she is, have sharing his numbers. I don't think that's her real name. An eye for an eye. Now, this could have something to do with them killing lions. Maybe, maybe these are the 2 big houses, or I think there's actually like 7 or 8 big houses of control. And like we have the blue dragons and the red dragons and the white dragons and the black dragons and all these different houses of control. And they're kind of duking it out. And they've always been doing that. If you read Zechariah Sitchin, I know a lot of people don't, agree with everything he said, and neither do I. I think everything we read, we're supposed to read. From the Bible to Zechariah Sitchin. So you have to hold all these details loosely and see what comes through your own wish for truth. If you have an honorable wish for truth, you should be able to pull the truth out of these twisted lies. So anyway, an eye for an eye. Like if they're going to kill, lions, maybe the other house, maybe what they're saying is this is an eye for an eye. Maybe there's another story where the lions killed somebody else, and, and I didn't decode that story. Orion's belt. In the Jewish gematria right here, where we have the 44-6. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, you guys have to give me some credit, because before I saw this, I made the Bride of Christ connection. Go back to my last video. I made the Bride of Christ connection before I saw this. But look at this, and look at that number. That's your Dylan Stormroof, your Georgia Guidestone number. I'm gonna have to make a video just on this, because this is kind of explosive right here. Oh, I got a lot of stuff to do because my kids are going back to school. The countdown's a busy day, and anyway, I'm having a good time with the codes. I hope you guys are enjoying the chaos here. We'll just call it Code Chaos with Dandelion. Just enjoy the chaos. It's not like we can do anything about it. The only thing we can do is not believe in it and renounce all your oaths. Take this moment right now and renounce all your oaths, all your pledge allegiance to the flag, anything that you have signed that you didn't read all the way through, or just anything that you've signed. Doesn't matter what it is. If it was just to give your kid a permission slip for a field trip, renounce it. You don't need it anymore. Renounce all your oaths. Free yourself from the snares of these Satanists. All your Christian oaths that you've made. Joshua told you not to make oaths, and you didn't. Christians don't follow Joshua. They follow Jesus. That's another of my soapboxes. I love Christians, and I want all the Christians to be safe and oath-free. Okay? I don't hate Christians. I love Christians. I love all the people. Everybody should be oath-free and walk away from these control systems. Or run. Walk, run, roll, fly, whatever. Get away from them. Okay, just want to show you. Here we have another 9 and a 6. And you can kind of see it as also a 922. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like a Celtic knot. The square, you know how we love squares. And we have the 86, which was the, two days ago now. Today's the 88. And then here is the 9, and it's the 9 times 9, so it's also the 81. But this is the number that we're looking at. This is the number that shares with Alison Parker, the Leo that was killed. Orion's belt. This is the World Trade Center 1, 2, and 3. So I believe that 3 people died in this this ritual that they say happened today. And they do that for the reason of 3. It's an Orion sacrifice. Now, I have typically thought that Orion is kind of like the lower scale of the galactic evolution of star people. And it could be that one of our roles here as a library of a mixture of many galactic races is to heal the Orion DNA. That could be one of our roles here. I was reading recently in the Keys of Enoch, which is probably another Freemason document, and Enoch could be Abraxas. I mean, an Abraxas could be the entity in that's either vilified wrongly or just mentioned symbolically in Jupiter ascending. It's the house of Brassica, which is actually the house of heads, because a brassica is a head, like of a cabbage. I just want to say that the Key of Enoch. I'm reading the Keys of Enoch, but I'm taking it all with a grain of salt. But there's a lot of really weird stuff in there. But he says in there that Orion has good roots, good, righteous DNA roots, and that's kind of news to me. So thought I would throw that in there. I'd like to read to you guys out of the Book of Enoch, but it's so weird. It's a $50 book. All right, I didn't mean to make this long. But this is explosive, right? Was that worth it? The Bride of Christ? And they killed the Bride of Christ right after her 24th. They just celebrated her 24th birthday, and that's in the video that I did just right before this. Just want to show you that Orion's belt in the English gematria has the way in it. This is the 49, but it's also a 13. So whenever you see a 13, besides being an M, besides being Eve and Adam, it's also a 49, which is I am the way, the truth, and the light, but it also has to do with Orion. You know, it's the good, I think it's usually Isis's sign is divergent spirals, which is divergent sevens. And when Tiger Wood had his humiliation initiation of being a Freemason, whatever level he is, he had a white hat on with a divergent 7, and then it had a 923 in it, and it had his letters in it too, the TW, and it had divergent 7s on it. And so it talks about, I think what they're talking about is you choose the way. You can go either way. I think that's what they're talking about. All right, I kind of have a headache. This kind of got me. Here is a Nefertiti number. Huh. All right, well, I am going to go out in the sunshine and let these videos upload. Love you guys. Hope you're having a good day. I hope that talking about the codes with me kind of lightens up the mood a little bit. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.